Today I'm going to share with you the beginning of the trip in which I went and shadowed and photographed a group of high schoolers going with this nonprofit down to El Salvador to serve people in need. Before this moment, I was of the mindset that this sort of work should be left to the major NGOs, to the USAIDs of the world. Two things happened on this trip. One, I realized that that thinking was fundamentally flawed because while, yes, we need our now destroyed USAID, we also need love. People need to know that they're not alone and they need to feel loved. Simple as that. The other thing I realized that I did not know the full expression of love. I hadn't experienced it. So this is the introduction, the first moments of my paradigm shift, my burning bush, the moment at which I saw God working through humans. So I'm so glad you're here. I'm so glad you're watching this full take. Every full take episode, I go through an entire photographic shoot in which you see all the good, all the bad. I explain to you why I did what I did so that you and photographers like you can come to this site and apply these sort of strategies to your own photographic process and get to know the world through my photographs. If you like this full take format, if it brings value to your photographic life, do me a favor and support this small channel by hitting that like button, liking this video, and consider subscribing to the channel. I really appreciate your support. It means a lot to this small, growing channel. Thank you. So without further ado, let's get started on this full take episode. So we're starting out here in a school bus, which is fitting because it was a group of high school students. And so I'm just trying to set the scene. I'm stepping back. I've talked about this in previous episodes. I like to step back and gather in and show the viewer in interesting ways what's happening. So I'm working here with leading lines into this queue here of students and family saying goodbye to their kids, to go down to El Salvador for a few days and serve humanity. And then I get on the bus and pretty typical environment, just kind of snapping some pictures of the kids at this point, trying to get them used to me taking pictures. So I'm going to work through some of this pretty quick here. The countryside. I forget at this point what exactly the order of operations was, but apparently we were driving to the airport very early in the morning, and these are some images of that. So I'm just trying to make some pretty images of the countryside. It's pretty moody. Ultimately, these images aren't of any significance. And here we are in the airplane. Some kid's got a GoPro, it looks like. I missed this exposure. There was some beautiful light coming through, and I wish I would have worked this situation a little bit longer, maybe got some lens flare. That could have been a really great opener to the series as well, if I could maybe get some kids interacting somehow. But as it stands, this is sort of a missed opportunity on the plane. Yep, so kids sleeping. This is one of the chaperones or somebody from the organization hanging out, literally hanging out. The energy is a bit more relaxed here, waiting for the flight to deboard the plane. Okay, so these last few photographs, they've been staring at me, staring at me, staring at me, and I'm waiting for them to kind of go back to normal. And so it's a waiting game sometimes to make pictures of people this close, I mean, I'm right there with them, and it's a matter of I could tell them just to ignore me, or I can just wait. And that's kind of if I have time, I'll just wait it out, and I'm trying to get to this point where they're interacting with each other now. It's not about me anymore, it's about them. And so this becomes a much nicer picture. And here we are in El Salvador. This is Laura Roberts. She's the director of Starfish Orphan Ministry. She's taken, I think, about 100 trips down with people at this point to Latin America to serve kids with disabilities, orphans, and people with disabilities, and really folks living in poverty. She's doing the work. It's so powerful. And I just love the sort of looks like Maya art in the background. And so now we're really getting in it. We're moving luggage. I'm just trying to capture people doing things at this point still. Taking in the scenery. I sort of missed this exposure somehow. F2 didn't quite work. Maybe I should have been at a faster shutter speed looking back. But I really like these images. You know, just taking in the scenery. I think at this point we're on the back of a truck. Inside the cab here, but I seem like I'm on top of the truck here. I would have liked to have seen everybody else in the back of the truck at this point. And the first stop of significance, this is an orphanage. And folks just swooped in and started caring for children and started giving them love at this point. Lots of beautiful colors here. Lots of bright colors, I'll say. So I thought this was a tender moment between this young lady and this baby. I think they're holding the little baby's hand here. Look how little that child is. Oh, this is a really close, for me, really close image. I'm noticing the Tweety bird in the background. I like it. Her hand is really sort of hurting the moment, but I love that this kid is caressing the baby's head there. Oh, there we go. That's getting nice. I don't know, it looks like I toned this in the past, so that's kind of where I brought out a lot of green and brought in some yellow. So warmed the image up a bit. This kid's smile lit the world. It was phenomenal. Out of focus here. I'm shooting at f2 at 3200. It was pretty dark and I didn't want to use flash. This is back in the day when I wouldn't want to go over 3200 ISO, so that's where I stuck with it. I probably could have shot at 25th of a second and gone to like f2.8 for some more depth of field. These are all out of focus. It's all focused here on this crib so far. But here we go. Now getting into focus better. The before and after. So I crop out that toy and bring in and really focus on this expression between the volunteer and this kid. What this is what life is about right here, this moment. This is what being human and love is. That is an expression of love between that child and this volunteer who came across countries to visit and just to be in this moment with this kid, to be present, to be vulnerable with this kid. And we come outside, and the bigger kids are playing out here, and so it's kind of rowdy. They're like, there's some snuggles happening, but there's also a lot of like rowdy time happening. It looks like ultimately I picked this image initially, and then this is what I love about going through archives, because you can see the error in your way of choosing photographs when you're too close to them. I think I like this image because the young man's face was nice, and the framing I like here because you can see the hands of the boy here in the leading lines. So I'm thinking about aesthetics, whereas there's something about these early images and the inquisitiveness and the literal closeness here of these images that I think are really touching as I have aged and then have kids of my own. Something like, whoops, too many clicks. Something like this really feels more intimate, really feels more powerful to me. This guy was really interested in me, and I wanted to make some pictures of him. I want to kind of reflect on this. He was really interested in me, and I was working. I was taking pictures. I wasn't in the moment. And you could see in this next frame how this girl is engaging with this boy, loving this, giving this kid everything he wants. Life, adventure, she's hugging him, she's picking him up. That's what it means to be 3, And this really kind of makes me sad because I didn't give this to this kid in this moment. I was focused on making pictures. And it's a sad image for me. How sweet. Oh, that's fantastic. I love his hands stretched out. Oops. No, that's great. I really love these hands stretched out. I missed that in the first time around when I was originally editing these for my client. And here I am changing things up a little bit. I photographed a lot of closeness, a lot of play, a lot of action, and I wanted to show the space. And this is kind of like a quieter moment. Hmm. I think I was working with trying to drag the shutter a little bit and get some motion here. These images of this boy and Laura, she's just sort of holding him, holding on to him. This becomes much more about emotion and an adjective rather than a verb. And her hands made a little heart, and I don't think that was intentional, but maybe it was. And then here we are, I think towards the end of this shoot. This is a mother, a young mother, who's staying at this place, and her baby. And I got in close, and I think they were okay with it. And I made some pictures of, them playing. And this is okay. This is alright. I like this. Yeah. Alright, that confirms my old editing. I think this has layers. We can see some of the artwork in the background, the young mother, and the interaction there with the kid and the volunteer. But I really like this picture because it shows where this mother lives now, in this moment. Modest accommodations, but a safe space. And so it's important to step back, right, and take scenic shots, because I think if we only focus on big emotional pictures, we lose sight of the places in which this is happening and why it's so important to have organizations like the one here that they visited to provide care for these people. And that's what this image is about. Do you have any stories in which photography got in the way of meaningful moments for you? I would love to empathize with you and hear a little bit about your story in the comments below. If this storytelling style of looking at a full take resonated with you, support my emerging channel by subscribing, hitting that subscribe button. It means a lot to me, and it really helps me reach more photographers who are growing their documentary photography craft, who are learning how to tell important stories about the world through their camera and make the world a better place.